All right, hello IBCA. We are going to do the high school transcript together. The first thing I'm going to do is change my, if you have already started yours, you can do this. I'm afraid I'm going to have a hard time fitting it all on one page with normal margins. So I'm going to go to layout, margins, and tell narrow margins so everything is at 1/2 inch. Just to give myself more space on here for my tables and everything to look good. So I'm going to hit Control E to make it centered and type in all caps, official high school transcript. Hit enter. Since I still have it centered, I'm pretty sure that when I insert a table here, it will automatically be centered. If it's not, we can make it centered. But I'm going to hit insert table. And we can either hit insert table right here, which is what we did in class today, or you can draw it. The drawing takes longer, but we're going to just hit insert table. We said there was 6 columns and I believe it was 22 rows that we needed. Something like this. It seems to possibly maybe actually be centered. Yes, it is. So when you look, so see we're here. Wait, maybe it's not. Actually, no, it's on the left. So I'm going to put centered. Didn't really move it because it's taken up, looks like the whole amount. Okay, first thing I'm going to put is over here. Forget I did this. Let's delete this. I forgot. Your first one is supposed to be smaller than that. The first one is insert table, and it was 2 by 8, I believe. I do not have mine in front of me. I really wish I did. So this is student information and this is school information. I'm not going to worry that much about what I'm actually writing on here since I do not remember, but more about just how to make the tables. So I'm going to hit Control L here so that this goes against, so that they're both, let me see. I actually don't remember what was here. I was going by something I created before when I was making the other one. Address. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all these and tell them Control L so that everything goes to the left alignment. Phone number, email address, date of birth, which you do not have, obviously for the school. Parents' names, something like this one, and then we need to add a line here. Until you actually turn this into somebody, you might just want to put this something kind of generic so that your social security number is not floating around. But I'm pretty sure you'll have to have your social security number on your high school transcript. Now for these bottom ones, since we don't need all of this over here, we're going to merge these cells. When you go to fill this out, I would put a couple of spaces before I put my name. And then your school name, check with your parents. I'm going to call us Jane Doe at Doe Academy. Put your address, all that kind of stuff, your phone number, email address, whatever, all this kind of stuff. The address of your school is not He Swim, don't forget. It's not Home Educators of Southwest Mississippi. It's not Macomb. It's not First Baptist Church. I'm not your teacher. That's your parents. It's your home, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so like I will not, anyone who's ever been like a tutor basically for you or a teacher for one of these like these little classes will not go anywhere on your transcript. It's that your parents are your teachers. So just keep that in mind. For date of birth, and parents' names. There was a few things down here that you don't need. Like basically there's just empty, weird looking cells over here. So we're going to get rid of those by highlighting these two cells, then go to layout and click merge cells right here. And it makes it one nice pretty cell. Unfortunately, you cannot highlight all of this and click merge cells. I guess you could, but it gets rid of your lines. You see? So that's why I'm gonna do just one at a time. Like so. So now and if you wanted to get rid of your, which I actually think I'm going to for my students when I turn in my kids, I'm probably not gonna have all these lines on this. I actually don't like that. I don't mind having it on these bottom tables, but if this here, I'm going to get rid of them. So what I'm going to do is go to the design here, and on my borders, I'm going to tell it no border. So it's just going to look like this. I can still go in here and fill it out. The borders, they're still there. I can still type in whatever I want to type in, and it's still going to be up here on the top of this. If, let's say, you really just want a line at the very top, you're like, I just want something separating a little bit of information here. You can click on this and tell it for the borders, only do the top border. So now just the top one's showing up, and it looks kind of like you have a nice line there. That actually looks okay to me. Okay. So then the next thing that we had was called school record, academic record, I think. We're going to insert another table. I'm going to call it insert table this time. I'm going to do 6 by 22. Now here's where I cannot remember what all we had in here before, but you're just going to bear with me while I create it. Okay, so one thing I do know is that this had to come down some. I don't remember how far. So I'm going to move these lines over a little bit. And if this works, I will do the same thing over here. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself a nice big line here in the center so I can visually see the difference in these years. So I'm going to go to my border painter. Give it like 1.5 point. And then right here is my center line. I'm going to go ahead and color that. Why did you not show up? Let me make it a little bigger. Maybe that was a problem. Okay. So 2.25 point gives me that. Then also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm also going to draw one here. If this is not exactly correct, it's very easy to change later. So this is showing me that I've got, so I was able to make these darker so I can tell the difference in my 4 years that I'm going to be working with. I'm also going to go ahead and put an outside border. Whoops, let me get it off of that one. If I click my entire table and then do the outside borders, now it has them all on the whole outside of this as well. Okay, so let me think here. Right here we merged these under layout, merge cells. And then merge cells. I think this is how it works. Merge cells. You can actually, I think, hit, Control Y to redo what you just did. If anyone wants to kind of play around with that. So the first thing we had was, I think it said school year 2000. She was a 9th grader, 2019 to 2000. No, 18. I'm just working with what Zara has right now. 19, so year. You can put like 9th grade. I don't think this really matters what you put here, but it needs to say something about 9th grade. Oh, so this fits pretty well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make this over here match it. Let me get rid of that. So I'm going to put my cursor in any of these cells right here. I'm going to see how wide apart, like how far apart this is. So if I can look right up here under cell size, it shows me the width is 1.93. So what I'm going to do is come over here to this. I'm going to highlight these. Actually, I'm going to highlight all these. And I'm going to change the width to 1.93. That didn't work. Let's not do that. Wait, let's come this like this. Where's my width? Oh, okay. Don't put any merged cells in here. I don't have any merged cells. Let me see. Let me see. I move some stuff around. This is not all supposed to be highlighted, just this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my format paintbrush right here. See if this works. Format painter. Didn't work either. Just a second. What did I do? Trying to figure out. Okay, so first off we had, it says course, then we had credits and grade or something like that. Course, credits, grade. We want this exact same thing down here, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. And here I'm going to put, actually what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually even copy and paste this. Control C and then Control V, and then just go in and change this. So this will be 20 through 21. And sometimes this helps everything stay kind of, that's a superscript. Let's see. Okay, and then this one's going to be okay, and then this will be 12th grade. This one up on superscript, this one did not. I'll show you how to change this. You go Control Shift Plus and that will make it go up. If yours didn't default to doing that, you can just make it a superscript like that. Control Shift Plus will bring it up. Control Shift negative does a subscript. Anyway, that's neither here nor there because we're worried about the tables more than anything. So, and then here is where we're going to start typing in the information. So, Control Left. In a minute, I'm going to figure out, I just didn't want to mess around with that too much while I was, so by the time you finish all of this, you are going to be here at the bottom and have a, it was going to be GPA, is that right? Totals, I'm going to have to look this back up, I don't remember. And then GPA would be like 4.0, I think that's how it was. And then here would be your cumulative totals. You may not want to write the whole word cumulative. You can do CUM. They understand what that means. So that meant at the end of her 9th grade year, she was done with 7 credit hours, and her cumulative GPA was still 4.0. let me... Okay. Not sure my width is not working. I don't need this much space here. And I think when we type in American Sign Language, it was kind of long. So what I'm going to do to work around that for now is I'm going to just make my font a little bit smaller. I think 11 is kind of large anyway for this. So what I'm going to do is take all the font for this entire table and go down. So I did the control and then the bracket, the left bracket, to make all of it go down to like 10. It should be all be 10. Something must be a little bit different. Anyway, so now it's all 10. American Sign Language 1 fits in its line. I think that was the longest that she had. You can make it even smaller than that if you want to. And then I know she's going to have American Sign Language 2, which is okay. That fits. Just want to make sure this width of this cell. If you say 2-inch, oops, Control Z. You say 1.93. I can move this to like 1.9. Oh, I mean, let me move all this. Isn't really what I wanted to do. We're just trying to make it look pretty. I'm going to take all of this, copy it, put it here. The cumulative totals have changed now. So if her total in this, so if her total again was 7, let's say it was 6.5, so that we all just see a little difference here. Let's just say it was 7. So she got 7 credits this year too. Then her total here is going to be 14. And her cumulative GPA, if she made it, if one of these was a B, this would change. What you do is, it's depending on how many credits, and it's also depending on how many credits it's worth. So if you made a B in something that's only half credit, it's not nearly as it doesn't like affect your GPA as much as if it's one whole credit. I'm going to put the same 2 lines here, down here, and here. And then I'm going to add her cumulative totals. I'm just going to assume 7 every semester. So 7, 14, 21. And then cumulative total here would be 28.0. This is not completely correct, but anyway, that's how it would look. Oh, let's put these on the left. Clean this up a little bit. Let's put these on the left. Put these on the left. The rest looks pretty good. Go ahead and figure out what you are going to be taking throughout your career, your high school career, or if you're a senior or a junior, what you've already taken. Make sure you get those in here good. In class next week, we're going to learn about doing the bottom part here. The bottom part is where we need to have a place for us to notarize them. We might find out that we need to make everything a little bit smaller, which is fine. Now most of this is 10-point font, which is plenty large enough. You also might decide that all of these lines are distracting. And so you can take your borders and get just have the outside border. That actually got rid of the outside border. I'm not sure why that happened. Let me try that again. It's amazing how sometimes when you repeat something that you just means you didn't really do it right the first time. My transcripts that I have from my schools all look like this. There's no borders. They just look like this. But it's still a lot easier to put everything in the right columns and all that kind of stuff with no borders. So you may want to turn in something like this that has no lines all over it. Let me put at least the border on the outside. Yeah, that helps. And then if you want the ones, like a few, you can put those right here. Oops. And then we can do that. There's a few different ways to do this. You could actually kind of highlight these cells and tell it that you want, tell it that you want a left border. So right here, you would just say left border, and then it shows up. And then for these, just that one, you can say that you want a top border. You got it that way. It's pretty simple. Or you could have told you wanted this cell to have a bottom border and look exactly the same. All right, that just kind of depends on what you want to do for all this. I'll try to get as much information as I can for you guys about what has to be on it, and you know, if there's anything that kind of triggers them to chunk it out because of some kind of distractive stuff or whatever, I'll let you know. But anyway, hopefully you guys can get all the way to here with all of your courses filled in. So whatever you took, you know, try to have all this stuff filled in before you come to class on Monday. That would be helpful. Give yourselves physical education for sure. I can double check on that. It might be better for that to be half credits every year, and then you end up with 2 total. I don't really know. English, science. If you took driver's ed too, I think in Louisiana it counts as a half credit. She did not take driver's ed, so I'm gonna take this off. But you can add driver's ed on here for a half credit. I can't remember what else she's done. So you want to just take and have all of this filled in. Oh, and I also learned, I think, from Julia's mom that if you were to be dual enrolled in an 11th grader or a 12th grader at SMCC, you would put, instead of English 3, so when you're a 9th grader, that's English 1, 10th grade, English 2, English 3, and English 4. Some people take English 4 honors, so if your mom is putting you through the honors stuff or whatever you can call it, it could be, she may say that's an honors course. There are specific parameters, but you can always put an H in parentheses beside it, so it would look like this. Or you can actually type out honors if you want. But if you took it at SMCC, as dual enrolled, or there was some other word for it, you would put in, I think, something more along the lines of this. It would be college English comp, meaning compositions when you're writing stuff, okay? And then you'd still have your 1 credit, and it would still work the same way, but it would look just like this on your transcript. Anyway, that's it. I'm going. Oh, and always make sure you hit save file, save as. OneDrive we'll attach it to whatever email address is your computer is working with. So I try to always make sure y'all know to go to this PC, put it in your IBCA folder, and call it, not sure why it defaulted to that. You're going to call it high school transcript or something along those lines. And then hit save. Okay? And then we'll work on the rest of this next week. Thank y'all. Let me know if you have any questions.